Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check how to use Oboro. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Also, comment on what are your thoughts on this character. She's very peculiar in my opinion, and you're gonna see exactly why. It's like she's a jack of all trade, but not exactly master on none. She does pretty well on everything she does, but she isn't like busted in any of those. Let's see. Very quickly, we're gonna start by checking Momochi. Momochi Nagi is going to be an assist type human character. Those are assist is a regular trait. There are some supporters that buff assist, but they aren't like many. So, but it's fine. Human has exactly the same problem. It's like there are things that help human, but there aren't that many. So, yeah. Well, but we can make her pretty busted, and you're gonna see how exactly. So, mine is max out. She only has 25. Most of my characters have only this much. And let's start by checking the skills. And we start, oddly enough, with the full red skill, which is Stormbringer. This is a hold attack, and it seems jumps and performs an area attack by throwing wind blades several times. 1 red stuns the enemy. 2 red performs additional attack at the end of the skill, and 3 red is going to increase the critical rate by 50%. The critical rate increase on this one is pretty good because it allows you to use crit rate. I always say that, I mean, if you get a damage increase or anything on red is pretty good, but this gives a lot of versatility. When you get the critical rate increase, you don't need to have supporters that increase critical rate. You can just do everything on your own. So this skill is excellent, but it has 2 weak points. Very, very important weak points that we have to discuss. The super armor and the positioning. If you get hit, you might be interrupted, and if you don't position yourself properly, you're not going to deal all the damage that you want to deal. So it is super important that you place yourself correctly on the map, and then that you somehow slow the enemy, break their super armor and then attack, something like that. Just make sure that they're not going to attack you, or get enough distance and then launch the skill, and then the enemy is not going to be able to interrupt you. So the next one is going to be Moonshade. Moonshade is going to be the dash attack. Before we continue, as you can see, Momochi has mix. Completely mix. Her kit is focused on doing both damage. You can go specialized, but I didn't bother doing builds for those. I prefer to just increase damage overall and do whatever builds that I want. So all my supporters, I don't use, mostly, there's one exception, but I don't use supporters that provide one specific kind of damage. So keep that in mind. But you can do it. Just you have to be very conscious about what you're doing. Continuing with Moonshade. It's a dash attack, it's a melee attack, performs charge attack by dashing forward, and deals additional damage with a shadow clone. The shadow clone is one of the characteristics that gives her whole identity to Momochi. She's going to do a ton of multi-hits with her skills, so that is pretty good. Now, this activates on the main, so this is the one that you're gonna use on mixed builds, and it says main green reduces the speed of the enemy by 10% for 10 seconds. 10% isn't that big of a deal, but there's potential here. Momochi has the potential to be a debuffer. She isn't a specialized debuffer, like Oboro that does mind control, or maybe Rin that does electrify, Shizuru that does defense reduction and such. Uh, no, she does a little bit of everything, and she isn't super strong on all of those. I think that's something that they're going to change on the renewal for Momochi. It's like she doesn't do any particular buff. She does a little bit of everything, and it's good that she debuffs. But well, let's continue with this. So with the main blue creates an additional clone. This sounds underwhelming at first, but it is not. It's a way to increase your damage, so you want to do damage with blue, and most importantly, it's another hit. That means that skills or effects that proc on hit are going to be more valuable. The next one is going to be red. With the main red increases damage by 10% for 10 seconds. That's generally good. A little bit low on the numbers in my opinion, but I wouldn't ask Gremory to make this 20. I think it's fine as it is. Then we have Momochi Assassin Art Centipede. Centipede, yeah. So this one is going to be a melee attack. It's a double dash. It's on 5 seconds cooldown and swiftly moves in front of the attacked enemy using a hook. This can hit multiple enemies, yes, but they have to be together. So it's not like you're gonna hit multiple enemies always. And this is kind of the equivalent of a launching skill because, as you can see, it procs just by having a copy of each color. So one green is going to reduce the defense of the enemy by 10 seconds. And again, the debuffs on her are not that impressive. It's just 10%. 10 seconds is a good duration for the debuffs that she's providing, but 10% is like, okay, it's there. It's an enabler for effects that activate on debuff. Then, one blue is going to reduce the skill cooldown by 20%. So the skill is already super fast. This makes this skill absurd. I really like this one. And the red one increases damage, the skill of the damage by 25%. The skill damage is actually pretty good compared to other skills like this. So I like this one. What's the problem? That you are near the enemy, and because of that, you have a problem. Momochi gets interrupted very easily. She doesn't have innate super armor, and that's something that they need to work on Momochi because she's a mixed attacker, but kind of more melee focused than range. So she does want to have natural super armor. Maybe not Murasaki levels of super armor, but super armor so that she doesn't get interrupted on her basic attacks or mid animation. So yeah, this is a pretty good skill. And another disadvantage of this skill is that you're going to be in front of the enemy or a crowd of enemies, and then you're going to get attacked. But this can be useful because you can activate your perfect dodge. So it is not all the merits. It's actually a matter about knowing how to combine your skills. Now, as you can see, Momochi has two basic enhancers, and her first basic enhancer is Mirage Strike. Mirage Strike is going to be melee, and it says enhances normal attacks and performs additional attacks with a shadow clone. Increases attack speed by 10% with one supporter, increases attack speed by 20% with two supporters, and increases particle charge amount by 50% with three supporters. So that's actually pretty good. I know, I just said that Momochi has problems with super armor, and yeah, she's gonna get interrupted if you are careless about using this. But why does it matter? Because of the multi-hit, because you're going to proc effects like Witch Su, like the Magatama effects, the Magatama element set, what else? The New Year Heaviko Poison. There's a bunch of effects that proc on hit, and this is super awesome for that. Unfortunately, that doesn't work on the basic for Aska, White Feather Aska, because it's on a skill, and this isn't considered a skill, as far as I know. Let's see. Then Momochi Style Flutter. This is the all green skill. It's a hold attack. It's a mix attack, as you can see. Performs a consecutive attack ahead and performs additional attacks by bursting Blade's aura and at the end of the attack. With one green, reduces the defense of the enemy by 10% for 10 seconds. I mean, it is an added benefit, so it's fine that it's only 10%. Usually, these skills have the most positive effect in the damage increase, or the damage itself is what really matters. So just being at 10%, it's okay on this. With 2 green, adds 5 additional attacks. That's super important. Usually you don't like an attack lasting more or dealing more hits, but in this case it's actually pretty good because of the amount of multi-hits that it has. Because as it says, you're dealing damage by striking the enemy with the sword, and then you leave a mark in there which is going to deal damage after that. So double the amount of hits that you do just because. It's nice. And then increases skill damage by 150%. That's good because it allows you to use other kind of builds, not only critical builds. You can go with the melee green, even though not all the damage is going to be increased. There's like some funny things that we can do, and you're gonna see it. Momochi Assassin Art Flame. This one is the perfect dodge. As you can see, it's range. When doing an extreme dodge, throw a small bomb at the previous position. A small bomb? I thought like 4 small bombs. But okay, the description, whatever. This works on sets of 2. And with 2 green, deals burst damage of 60% for 4 seconds. This is something that they're gonna change for sure. I mean, it doesn't. It's nothing. It's unimportant. They need to rework burn, in my opinion. It lasts just too little. Number 1 and number 2. It is not that great. It's like the previous bleed on Oboro's skill. Instead of Mind Break, she had bleed in one skill, and it's unimportant. Even though Momochi has really good debuffing builds, they are kind of weak because, as you saw, the percentage isn't that big, and this debuff is just unimpressive. Then set to I say this unimpressive, but we're actually going to use it on the Magatamas, but dealing them on the Magatamas is completely different. It's a completely different story, so keep that in mind. Then set to blue increases the speed by 20% for 10 seconds. This is pretty good. 20% is a nice number for a speed increase. 10 seconds is a good duration, and on a perfect dodge is amazing because you're going to get near the enemy, and then you do the dodge, you deal a little bit of damage, you make the enemy a little bit groggy after taking the damage if they don't have super armor, and then you just start attacking super fast. That's great. And with 2 red, perform one additional explosion attack. It's going to be like in the middle, I think, and it is fine to increase the damage, but I mean, it can be viable, and you're going to see why this is not that unimpressive, the red one. The only one that is unimpressive is the green one. Everything else is fine. Momochi sword style. This is the basic enhancer, but it's going to enhance normal attacks and deal range damage. Range attacks with a wind blade aura. So yeah, you still do multi-hit, but this is kind of the one that you want in most situations because of the range. You don't want to be near the enemy because you're prone to interruption. So this is good, but this is better on most situations. I mean, there's the benefit of multi-hits with this one. and being a melee attack also affects. So then we have Momochi style Scorpion, which is going to be a whole debate. It's a melee attack. Oddly enough, it's a melee attack. Create clones on both sides and strike in unison. So this is going to be the all blue. With one blue increases speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Again, she can buff, she can debuff, she can deal damage. And damage is like her main like not approach, her main thing, the thing that she does the best. The other ones are like not bad but not exactly good. So yeah, speed increase, it is appreciated. Two blue are going to create additional clones. That's fine. I mean, more hits. And three blue are going to increase critical damage by 250%. Okay, so what's the problem here? We don't have generic crit damage increase that I remember on blue. We have critical damage increase for range attacks, yes, but critical rate and critical damage increase on blue is like not really for most characters. So it is terrible that it is here. It is not a bad effect to have, it's just difficult to activate. You need to rely on good weapons with high enchantment and content that allows you to crit. So yeah. Then we have Storm Dance. Storm Dance, as you can see, is a melee attack which does a circle. It says during normal attacks, hold, hurls wind and knocks back enemies nearby, restores HP by 5% of damage dealt when the set effect is applied. 3 green, increase the defense by 30% for 10 seconds. 3 blue, increase damage by 30% for 10 seconds. 3 red, increase attack range by 50%. All of these are great effects. What's the problem then? That this super amazing skill forces you to play pure colors. That's the problem. That's kind of the only problem this has. And also the fact that this is the only healing skill for Momochi. So she is going to have troubles healing herself on mix. Unless you pair her with Felicia, unless you use an active for invincibility or HP restoration. So unless you use supporters that have regen. So I mean, it relies heavily on this skill for most builds, and that's kind of a problem. The skill is pretty good. I won't deny it's amazing. It's just the fact that she doesn't have enough versatility due to the lack of HP recovery on mixed builds. So she's kind of like Lina. She prefers to go pure rather than mix, even though both characters can. And lastly, we have the Awakening skill that you get at level 81, Momochi Assassin Art Wasp. It's a range attack. It makes sense because it's immediately after enemy attacks. It's a kind of counter. Okay, so you dodge, slightly step back, and counter attacks by throwing multiple kunais. 2 green, deal poison damage of 60% for 6 seconds. Again, they're going to change this. I mean, these two are like, they don't provide anything. They are just random debuffs that don't synergize with what Momochi does. Let's see. The next one. Make the enemy groggy. I guess that's cool for Arena. I don't like it too much, but okay. And increase damage by 20% for 10 seconds on 2 red. That's great. That's amazing. In fact, I did a build which use which one? Wasp, Moonshade, and Stormbringer. I beat the stage But I do not recommend that combination because you are going to miss the HP recovery, and I can do it because I have good awakening skills. So, what does she need in regards to, updates? Basically, super armor. Kind of super armor. That's the thing. And if they could add HP regen on any of the skills that have two two colors, that would be amazing. Because she lacks versatility if you don't have supporters that can provide her with HP. Uh, because she wants to go full color to have the HP. That's the problem. And that and super armor. So yeah, that's about it. That's the only thing I would change. Ah yeah, and of course those acquired debuffs here and there. I would rather have these ones with a bigger number, like maybe 15. I'm not saying like 20, but 15 these two. That would be nice. And this definitely need to change for something else. I don't know what they want to give her. Maybe they should focus a little bit more on those multi hits and the clones that she does, the after image. So yeah, that would be a thing. Let's see. So we're gonna start actually with VR because I don't have a slots to save this stuff. So we're gonna start with VR. For VR, we have Heavyco. We're gonna go like heavy blue. We're gonna use 8 blue supporters if I'm not mistaken. So my Heavyco, as you can see, is level 82. Which, by the way, I'm not going to beat the stage. I'm gonna get close to beating the stage because I don't want to level up. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm saving that for something else. So I'm going to use this weapon that I have, the limited character limited set weapon, but you can change it for this one if you have it. I used to have this. You want the speed increase, that's why I use it. This also gave me a speed increase. You don't have that, then use whatever is available to you. I mean, as I always say, those arena weapons are pretty good. You just need beat sticks to do this stuff. It is better if you get some kind of benefit, but the stats are what really matter. So I'm going damage against machines, anti-machine, all my magatamas. As you can see, the damage against machine and the melee attack increase on the set effects. This is also 5 out of 5 plus 11. This is 5 out of 5 plus 14. The skills are Octopus Windmill, Octopus Server, and Octopus Field. Octopus Field, I use it to deal damage and to get the Devil Link status. That's why. Because I could use this, but I don't want to. Because I'm going melee. And I could also use this, but I prefer my basic attacks as they are. So I'm going to use Su. Su is amazing. We're gonna rely on a Su strategy here against the LWS squad. So we need to increase the debuff duration. I'm going to use Arabella, of course. And Asagi is just a means to get HP. I didn't have anything better, but let's say if it's because I'm going like blue with everyone, that's why. But you could also put this if you have it enchanted. This is gonna be very good. Why this and not another UR? Because I don't have something that gives damage reduction to her. I mean, I could also use this one, damage tanker from all enemies, but I don't have it enchanted too. So that's another problem. Then we're using Oboro. Oboro is the one that's going to debuff the enemies, and that's why I'm going to put her in mix. She is 75, as you can see, but she gets the benefit of my awakenings. I get like 112 damage reduction on my awakening. Keep that in mind. I'm going to use Misaki, but I would rather use, if I could, Yachio. I can't do it. Why? Because as you can see, she's not enchanted. So I'm going to go with her. But I would prefer constant HP recovery over relying on the active. Then I'm going to use Sakuya and uh, Akina to restore my HP and reduce damage. With her, I'm using anti-machine Magatamas for damage reduction. So, unfortunately, my weapons are S1 and S5, both on non-enchanted, both of them. Uh, I mean, her role is to debuff the enemy, so it doesn't matter what she wears in terms of damage. What really matters is the Magatamas. Uh, I'm gonna use Hypnosis Seal, Flash Step, and Shadow Strike. All of these are going to inflict mind control, and that's what we want to abuse. Then, yeah, that's it. Lastly, we have Momochi. Momochi is going to use this. It's 3 out of 5 plus 12, and this 5 out of 5 plus 10. So it is not the best, yes, but I think we can manage here. Whatever Magatamas. And here I'm going to put anti-machine with wood element, which is going to ensnare the enemies. That's great. And what are we doing? Since the strategy relies on Su, I'm going to be using Su along with these two to increase my damage. This is going to be like 102 damage increase on skills and 106 damage increase on skills and how many? How much? 80% damage increase on basic attacks. So I need Storm Dance because this is BR and I need HP recovery. I'm using Moon Dash to deal more hits. It deals a hit. Then the clone of the natural effect deals a hit, and then the extra clone of the set effect deals another hit. It's 3 hits on this, so it's amazing, and it's a melee attack that's gonna proc Su, and this is going to allow me to deal more damage. You could also go for basic on a mixed build, but I wanted to use the HP recovery. But if you want, using Noah Brown is an option because she increases speed. Unfortunately, there aren't many supporters who increase speed, but she's one of those. So I'm gonna test it on 41, but I might not. This is 87, 75, 82, so let's see how lucky I am. I rely heavily on the AI to do its job properly. And if it's not, I'm going to go 10 floors down to level 30. Come on, do your thing. Yes. Look at that. Beautiful. Isn't it? Yes. Amazing. Yeah, nobody's moving. It is just no. You are not doing that. Oh, interruptions. Oh god. Well, it's working. It's working. So far, it is. Another thing, you want to have the active of the supporters, well, active, but also you don't want to use it. You get me? Yourself. Why don't you want to use it yourself? Because the active of Witchu is not great, but you want the active of Misaki. So yeah, it is a shame that I have to use it. I mean that Heviko is going to be using it, the active of Witchu, which doesn't help me, but there. Yeah, so Momochi is one of the best characters that you can use for any kind of effect that procs on hit. Especially if there's no limitation. As I said previously, White Feather Asuka is not. Oops! I forgot. I just wanted to check this. I wanted to check how many gems. It's actually not that different, and it's kind of the price is the same. You're getting 2 less crystals on this pack, 1 less crystal mirage, and 1 of these. I think I'm gonna get it in a while. Maybe ish. I don't know. To prepare, unfortunately. Well, we already finished with that. Let me check. It has 3 hours. Okay, it's fine. So, again, we're gonna go to Arena, and I'm going to show you some builds. I didn't did as many as I have done with other characters, but they are good. At least 2 with each color. So, starting with red. This skin, by the way, is pretty cool, but it was kind of a special. I mean, they just released it just because it was cheaper than other skins. It was paid, but it is amazing. I mean, Momochi, guys, Momochi. So, you know the weapon, and let me tell you about this. These builds are going to benefit from using this a lot, and I mean it. Usually, this is not something good, but her debuffer roll gets enhanced dramatically with a weapon like this. I hope that the developers decide to go with the debuff route on her limited pack. That would be amazing, because she, as I said, she can do many things. She can deal damage, she can buff herself, she can debuff, but buffing and debuffing are just kind of not as good as her main damage dealer build. So please, Gremory, think on it. I think that you can do something pretty cool, but don't make the weapon rely on crits or something weird like the Momochi weapon, because VR doesn't allow us to. So we're gonna be using the anti-demons, and with all the the element gacha coins or element coins that we got, I was able to finally reroll and get 4 fire. So I'm gonna be debuffing the enemy. And as I said, look at the effect. It says that I got a 50%, no, 20%, nice, 20% chance of dealing burn damage of 50% for 10 seconds when attacking every 15 seconds. Okay, so there's a 5-second cooldown, but the amount of multi-hits that Momochi does makes this amazing. Like, really, really amazing. Now, obviously I have this one 5 out of 5. Even though it's better, I do prefer using the Momochi one. Whatever Magatamas, this is going to be Storm Dance, along with Stormbringer and Momochi Assassin Art Wasp. We're gonna start with Wasp, and then Stormbringer or Swords Dance, whichever is fine. We just want that chunky damage increase. It is kind of wacky to use this, but if you want to change it for Moonslash, that's also fine, because here you have to wait for an enemy to attack you and you can restore HP. That's why I'm doing this combination and I get a bigger damage increase. But this one, you don't need to wait for the enemy. You just do your thing and then use Stormbringer. And when you need it, you do Storm Dance, and that's it. So let's try it. As I said, the combo is to first counter and then attack with whichever attack you like the most. Maybe you're gonna need the HP recovery. Oh, I forgot the supporter, but in a moment. As you can see, I'm dealing a ton of damage, but that's because I'm going crit rate. Yup. Easy. Easy. This is meant to destroy the enemy, and for sure it will, but here's the problem. Nice. Okay, I need to position myself and... Oof, oof. If I didn't position myself properly, I would be in a pinch. Okay. Like, oh no. Okay. There. You see? The problem here is that there are too many enemies with super armor, and as I said, super armor is one of Momochi's weak points. So dealing with stages with multiple enemies is tricky if you don't position yourself properly. Be careful with that, guys. Let's see. Yeah, the supporters, before we move on. I'm using Eleanor. Eleanor give us crit, and it's going to give us more damage if we have it on the main. I'm also using Lydia, Barretta, you know. Lydia? Yeah, Lydia. And Stella. Specifically with this weapon and Eleanor on the main, I could change Stella for example, where is she? Susune, yeah. I could change her for Susune or Holy Knight Kirara. Keep that in mind. The next one is going to be another red. This is with Homura, and she's not enchanted. But we're gonna use Stella on the main and Barretta on the middle. This is the kind of build that you want to use for farming with Momochi because of the AoE. So we're gonna be using Stormland as usual to get HP recovery, and the perfect debate to deal damage, along with this one to get a damage increase. So you Moonshade, and now that you're near the enemy, you are probably going to do Flame or Sword Dance. Usually it's Flame, and then while they are groggy, you Storm Dance and you get HP recovery. So yeah, it is pretty good because of the AoE that these two skills have, and the damage increase pairs well with those. So, wow, look at that, right? Yep. Pretty good. Okay. I do this and I do this and shred. Oh no, not yet. Nice. Okay. Get it buff and then just wait for an opening and yeah. Nice. Nice. Pretty easy, right? So yeah, red is strong, but as I say, all the pure builds are going to rely heavily on Storm Dance, so that's kind of a problem-ish. You get me? Let's see. The next one is going to be... Which one? Oh, yeah. I remember now. It's going to be blue. Yeah. We're going to start with this blue. As you can see, I'm using Asagi because we're going to be increasing our speed with the passive. Extra passive of the main slot. I'm also using Felicia. You can use Felicia if you want. Because the passive is also good. And I'm using Onigumo. Unfortunately, as I say, there aren't that many options for her. You can use, of course, Arabella. You can use this Sakura just as a means to reduce damage. Here you can use actually Kana. So on blue, you have that option if you're buffing yourself. Murasaki is always good. You can use this if you're in a dire situation, and the big three and Onigumo are good. This one is also good. This one is also good, but not exactly for her strategy. So Keep that in mind. What are we doing here? Well, let's check those skills. We're gonna be increasing our speed, and recovering HP. So we're gonna deal a lot of damage with our basics because of the speed increase. And it would be better if we had a basic enhancer. If you have the 4th slot, consider using a basic enhancer on that. But here you want to start with a Scorpion, and when the enemy gets near, you use Flame, and lastly you use Sword Dance. And when the enemy is without super armor, you just attack them with your basics, and you're gonna gain more HP speed with Asagi's passive. So what are the commands again? Immediately after, I see. So like this. Well, it's the other way around, but I forgot the commands. Yeah, you see, breaking the super armor is easy when you are this fast. But I am not sure. I don't know. Gremory, tell me, please, or someone. But I don't see the buffs stacking, the 2 speed buffs. This that has a 10 is Asagi's buff, but I never seen those 2 at the same time. I don't know why. Like, they last. Yeah, I should have 2, but I don't have 2. So that's weird. Do one of these get resetted? Like the problem Kirara had with the Frigid Zone and what's the other buff? And the Momochi weapon? Is that a thing? I don't know. Well, okay. That didn't work, so I'm gonna do it one more time. Come on. She won't let me. Yeah, like that. Excellent. Nice. Good thing that those mobs were in the middle of my attack and they didn't get their super armor shred. Nice trick. So, the next one is going to be another blue. But this blue, if I'm not mistaken, is a basic enhancer blue. It's melee. Usually it's better to go with range basic enhancer. So what do we want here? We want to deal multiple hits on the enemy and increase our speed. This is the best speed increase. This is only 10%, so that's why we're using that one. And let's see those supporters. It's the same. So this is not the best stage for this. You generally want to use this kind of build against a single boss. Because you can easily see the attacks coming, and you're going to just dodge and get your speed increase, and you do the dash attack, and then you do your basics, and look, you shred the super armor, you destroy the enemy. Pretty easy. Yeah, the ability to deal so many hits is amazing. It shreds super armor. It's like Rinko 2.0, but with other roles added. Okay, yeah, a little bit more. I need more. Yeah. Oh no, I got interrupted in the middle of my attack. I won't use the ulti unless I need it. Come on. There. Now I'm going to deal damage and... But what I'm going to use is the active, because that, if I'm not mistaken, it reduces the speed of the enemy. That I can use. I didn't use the active of the supporter. I saw I pushed the button. Well, it worked in the end. So for that kind of build, you want to evade a lot and then go and hit the enemy whenever you have an opening. And when the enemy has the super armor down, you want to shred them. So yeah, let's see. The next one is going to be green. I have to use my phone to check those builds that I have here. Let's see. Whew. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here. Starting with the melee, with the Yang stuff. Okay, so we're gonna be using my favorite, Ichika. And when I use Ichika, you know that I'm going to be using Heaviko. And just because of its thematic, now that we're gonna get the rerun, I'm gonna use Lefria. And this was pretty strong as it was. So I'm gonna use, of course, Storm Dance, and let me check. Centipede, which is Centipede? Oh, Centipede. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Flutter. So why are we using this? Centipede is going to be a debuff, and this is going to be our what's the name? Our HP recovery, and this is our damage. The debuff, let me explain. I don't need Centipede because I have the weapon and the Magatamas. But if you weren't to have those, if you didn't have the Momochi weapon or a weapon that inflicts a debuff and the effect, you need a means to inflict a debuff so that you can inflict poison on the enemy. This is like a super debuff. And you're gonna see it's pretty funny. Oh, well, let's check. So I do this and they get a ton of debuffs. Burn, poison, everything. What was the other skill? It was hold, okay. Yeah, let's destroy them. Yeah, that skill is pretty good. I mean, it deals a massive amount of damage. So I'm going to use it first on Yuki. I destroy everything. Okay. You can rely on that, but usually you would want to do first the hook and then the centipede and then use flutter. Those were the name, right? Centipede and then flutter. And lastly, you want to use sword dance. My damage is just too big, so they get destroyed just with flutter, but you can do it that way. The next one. Well, I'm going to show you real big damage. If you thought that was insane, it's because you haven't seen the crit one. So you don't get that much benefit because the green flutter, the skill all green, doesn't have a damage increase on critical. It's just a skill damage increase, so you can use it with generic damage. But of course, critting is way better than non-critting. So we're gonna use Centipede, and we're gonna change this for Moon Slash. It's pretty hilarious, just how many debuffs I can inflict on the enemy. So yeah, and I need to change the costume. Let's go with Maid. So, oof. Oh, here is so hot. Believe in global warming, guys. And the amount of debuffs that I inflict is hilarious. So yeah. And look at my damage, it's just absurd. And guaranteed crits with this. I'm gonna do it the other way. I'm going to debuff Yuki first before I do my attack. Oh, well, if I can. Okay, wow, actually, it worked. Ah, super armor, guys. She needs super armor. Ooh, can I? Wah! What? Nah, I cannot do it with my throat. Right now, I'm thirsty. But I could do the Mario sound. Let's see. The next one, I'm going to start with mix. So we have already checked all of these. And the next one is going to be mix. Let's go with this one on 2. I love color 2. It's amazing. And we're going to be using Noah. Noah. You can, I'm using Noah and I get benefits by increasing my speed, but you can simply use Juno instead. What you really want is the super armor. That's why I'm using Noah. I could also use Astaroth, but I don't get that much benefit from using Dark Sun Astaroth. It's over here. Yeah, she also gives me super armor. And I'm going to be using 2 blue in the form of Felicia and Kana. But as you know, you can change Felicia for any of the generic damage increase supporters for the corresponding attribute. You can also use Asagi, you can also use Arbella, go defensive with Akina. There's options. So, what are we doing here? We're using, of course, Centipede. We're not. In this one, no. Flame. We're using Flame to get a speed increase. We're using Mirage Strike. Mirage Strike, really? What's the... yeah, that's why I want super armor. And Moonshade. That's also the reason. Moonshade. It was already equipped. So, with Moonshade, I'm going to get near the enemy. And then I'm going to evade their attacks, gaining speed. And then I'm going to abuse my basic attacks. But for that, I need super armor, and that's why I'm using this. It also gives me a very decent attack buff, so it's fine. It's fine to use Noah. As I mentioned, you can simply go with Juno, because the super armor or the ability to not get interrupted is what really matters on the active. So I do this, and then I start just spamming my basic attacks. Yeah, amazing. Again. Nice. It's just too easy to destroy the super armor with this speed. It's like 27% more speed with the supporter and the buff, so yeah. And super armor. Yeah, destroy them. Okay, yes. It doesn't matter if they hit you, if you're fast and dealing a ton of damage, so you just destroy them. So not only you destroy them, you destroy the super armor first, so they stop attacking you, and then you deplete all their HP. So that's why you want super armor or invincibility on that build. This one, let's go with color 2, but let me check. Really? Is this one? So double red along with green. Oh yeah, this is the debuff strategy. It's funny. I can tell you that it's pretty funny. So we're gonna be using Susune, of course, no doubt about it, along with Gal Lilim, and Heaviko, New Year Heaviko. The ability to inflict debuffs on normal attacks is just amazing, guys. I know that there are some people who don't like it, but God, debuffs. So for this one, we're gonna use Moonshade along with Wasp. Damage increase, I see why. And Centipede. So, damage increase, debuff, 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 a big damage increase. I mean, the idea is that I abuse this big multiplier here. If you have Kirara, it's way better, but it's also riskier. But I mean, you can do without it. This is balanced. If you want to go with more damage, you could change Hebiko. I mean, I like her, but you don't need her. It's just like damage over time in case you need it, in case the enemy has a ton of HP. So I do this and debuffs. Yeah, she can do some pretty sick stuff. Come on. Attack! Yes, like that. That's what I wanted. I love inflicting too many debuffs on the enemy. I wish that they rework her debuffs in a good way. And Susune on the main is important because it gives you HP recovery, as you can see. Oh no! Oh no! I got glitched! No! Oh, okay, I have to wait. Oh, excellent. That happened to me in one of the test runs. It's not that common, but it happens. I hope that you don't experience that. Because that's not a freeze or a speed reduction. Yuki doesn't do that. Let's see. The next one. Again, Heavy-Com. I guess it's gonna be more debuffs, but it's blue. Obviously, the best one is her. Use whatever you have. I'm using a lot Felicia because that's what I have. But if you have other supporters, if you're buffing yourself, Can is an option. Using a defensive support is an option just to fulfill the color requirement. So here, Moonshade, of course, Centipede, of course, and Flame. Instead of Wasp, we are gonna use Flame. So let's see those. Speed increase, reduction, reduction. It's another build focusing on debuffs. You're going to get near the enemy, then evade, and then get near the enemy again with the slash. Dealing a ton of damage with all of those. And then you're gonna do the hook again, Centipede again, to deal more damage, get near the enemy, and the cooldown should be down. So, like this. Yeah, exactly. Playing with all these debuffs is hilarious, I tell you. I do wish that they decided to go that route with Momochi. There. Come on, evade, evade. There. Nice. Easy peasy. Let's see. The next one is going to be triple color. Here I'm just going to change this to Susune because you know Susune works. Obviously we have to use Centipede and we're gonna use Moonshade. And we're gonna use sword style. So this is a little bit different because you get near the enemy with these skills, but you use them as means of damage. So you're gonna start with Moonshade, and then you reposition yourself, or you can start with no, Centipede. Centipede, Moonshade, you reposition and you do your basics. That's kind of it. You could use Centipede again, but in this case I do not recommend unless the super armor of the enemy is down. Yeah, pretty nice. Super easy to use. I tell you, this basic enhancer is my favorite, but the other one has some things that it can do that this one doesn't. I'm basically using Witsu. Oh my god. Interrupted. Okay. Okay. Like that, like that. A little bit of this. Oh, not again. I use my active. My ulti hit me, I guess. You see why poison is good, guys? Oh my god. I don't want to end the showcase with a defeat on a glitch. How did I... Ah, it's the passive. It's the passive. Okay, so I win. I guess I win. You saw that it was working pretty well, but I win. That's so dumb. Guys, remember, my weapon, my level, my awakening skills really, really, really changed the way in which this character is being played right now. What I can do, I mean. So, these builds are pretty fun, but you can only do them when you have that kind of damage reduction. If not, you have to heavily rely on Storm Dance or supporters. Supporters actives and HP regen on supporters. Keep that in mind. We're gonna finish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, finish, because this is the last one. This is another one that is going to be... wait. It's with Susune, so I'm going to put Susune here. And here I go with blue, and I go with Oniguma. And what are we doing here? I guess it's Moonshade, Centipede, and Flame. Of course, Flame. So we're gonna be using Centipede to get near the enemy and deal damage. And then we use Flame. Then we use Centipede if you can, Moon slash Centipede. And then again Flame. Due to the reduction on the cooldown, it is kind of viable to do that. But maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit on how fast it's going to be active. So we'll see how we do the combo. So I do this, and then I do this, and then I do another one, and I do this. So, well, maybe not that much of an exaggeration, as you can see. So, yeah. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Yeah, as I mentioned, this one is not that bad as a damaging skill because of the low cooldown. It's kind of like Psyche. Pretty fast. Pretty fast, that skill. I love when they change the launching skills for something else. That works pretty well as a damaging skill. Again? Take this. And it's only the mobs. Come on. And they don't hit me. What's up with that hook? Oh. That Centipede, I see. Well, you know what? You saw that I won, technically. So I'll just keep it. There is no point in being here anymore. I beat the bosses. So, yeah. So, let's check Momochi. For Momochi, this is a special case. Why is she a special case? Because she's one of those characters who has, who shares weapons. Who does she share with? With Rin. So let's start with the SRs. Increases speed by 2% for 5 seconds during normal attacks. Not that bad actually, but the stats are something that you don't want. So if you're beginning, this is fine, but you want to replace it later. Then increase damage to humans. That's gonna go up to 80%. The trade weapons are not that bad actually. But that's what they are. They are niche. They are for specific kind of contents. Usually, people use this on VR when they are tackling step 30, up to step 30, and they're pretty good. So that's fine too, but it is too niche. This one is the when particles are fully charged. Yeah, this is the pack weapon for Rin. This is the Sakura weapon. This is the exclusive for Rin. Yeah, arena weapons always good, always mystics. This one, I usually say that they are unimportant, but in her case, it really enhances her role as a debuffer. So this is an exception. Unfortunately, you cannot use it on VR. Or I mean, you can, yes, but you're not going to crit, so you don't get the benefit. So I hope that Gremory gives us a weapon that works well with her later. The next one is going to be Muramasa and Mumei. This one is from the pack. Unfortunately, let me check. Stats. Yeah. The first thing that we notice here is that the stats are lower than usual, and you only get one copy of the weapon when you buy the pack. That's pretty bad. Gremory should give us like, I get that they make these less with less stats than the gacha ones, but they should give us at least standard stats if they want to commit to using these, especially when we have these ones. When a character gets to share weapons, they usually get a pack weapon that is not that bad. It has a decent effect. In her case, melee attacks have a 20% chance of increasing damage dealt to all enemies by 15%. That's go up to 30%, and reduce damage taken from them by 15%, up to 20%, for 5 seconds. Range attacks have a 30% chance of snaring the enemy for 4 seconds. This weapon is great. This is the best weapon I have seen. That with on a pack. I can tell you that. If you want to get it, for me that's fine. I mean, just the skin looks amazing, and this is awesome. I don't suggest that you commit your Demonite to increase the S level of this one, but I would understand if you did. I mean, even with the low stats, you're going to get a damage increase. So, I mean, I get it. The next one. This is the Momochi exclusive gacha weapon. The one that is on the premium pool. Increases damage dealt to bosses by 20%, going up to 40%. That's generic good. That's generic good, and I mean really good. I'm gonna... Well, I'll do it right now, very quickly. Where are you, Astaroth? Okay, I'm gonna use Astaroth as an example. Here. So this is going to give us 40% also. So her weapon allows her... the weapon of I forgot the name. Momochi Nagi allows her to be an excellent DPS on VR. Just like that. It's great. Super great. It's a shame that I don't have it. Deals damage and immediately restore HP. My god, I should have this weapon. I should get it. My god, it's amazing. It gives HP recovery. That's great. Really good. My god. And Momochi Nagi is one of those characters who doesn't really care about particles because of the amount of multi-hits that she does. She can get the particles back. So, this weapon is awesome. If you have it, I suggest you enhance it. This is perfect for VR. Let's see. This one is for Rin. This one is for Rin. And the wood weapon. So, yeah, that's all that we have. So, let's see. Very quickly, let's go and make her evaluation. Where are you, Momochi? Here. Here she is. So, what's up with Momochi Nagi? Momochi Nagi is a pretty good character for any kind of content. I mean, she isn't, as usual, she isn't one of the best farmers because she's not easy to use. You don't spam a button and that's it. I mean, you can with the basics, but enemies get near and you would prefer to bait. But she's not like Maika or the auto farmers, Emily and Shisui. So even so, she has very good AoEs. So using her to farm is fine. Using her for challenging content is fine. She performs pretty well. As I mentioned, her problem lies on her super armor. If you're fighting one boss, that is not much of a problem as long as you position yourself properly and evade the attacks. But sometimes it's kind of hard to do so. She's squishy, as you can see, and that's why she relies on this skill too much. The effects are kind of weak. The buffing effects, the buffing effect on this one is fine, but the other one at 10% is like okay. But on the other hand, it's easy to use this skill, so it's fine that it's 10%. The same goes for the speed reduction. These two, I would be glad if they increase it to 15. And these they need to change. Her debuffing roll is kind of awkward, just awkward. So I hope that I don't release this video and like it wouldn't be the next month because this month we have Spinel, but in I don't know 2 months we get her limited character set. So I hope that's not the case and we can use this for a while. But well, that's about it, guys. What do you think about her? Do you like her? Do you not? In my opinion, she's just good as most characters. Pretty fun to use, pretty versatile. Kind of awkward in some of her roles, but she manages. She definitely manages however you want to build her. So that's it for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!